Hi everybody, we're in Kansas City today and we're going to look at the site of some property that was owned by Bishop Edward Partridge and General Alexander Doniphan. He's the one that saved Joseph Smith's life. My understanding is that they wanted to execute Joseph Smith and Doniphan protested, and so the prophet's life was spared just that much longer. But yeah, so we're in Kansas City. This area is not too close to Independence. To get to the temple lot from here, it's probably something like, oh, I don't know, about 20 minutes or so. But I found this recently because, so up until this point, I've been mostly using the Ensign Peak Foundation's website because they have pretty much all the major church sites. It's a great resource, but they don't have everything. And I came across another website called the Historic Marker database, and they have a bunch of other lesser known sites, and this is one of them. But even that database doesn't have everything. I may add a few sites of my own. There were some in Richmond that they didn't have, but that's how I found this. And as you can tell, this is a nice area, but there's this marker right here, and it says, hopefully it's not too dark for you to read yourself, but it says William Bent Seth Ward Home, situated on property once owned by Mormon Bishop Edward Partridge and by Alexander Doniphan. This homestead was acquired in 1858 by Colonel William W. Bent, founder of Bent's Fort, Colorado, in 1864. During Bent's residency, the farm pastures, now Loose Park, were the site of the Battle of Westport. Seth E. Ward, wagon master and Indian trader, purchased the property in 1871 and completed Bent's antebellum house. Restoration was begun in 1949 by Dr. and Mrs. Frederick B. Campbell. It's hard to read the rest of it, but I think it's just the foundation that put this marker here, the Daughters of the American Revolution. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I already said this in this video. I've had to do a couple takes, but Kansas City, from what I understand, before it became Kansas City, was called Kaw Township. So that's what it was called in the days when the Saints were here. And I don't know, we know that Edward Partridge was instructed to purchase lands for the Saints that were coming to Jackson County, and I can only assume that this was one of those properties. If I find out more, we'll probably come back out here, do another video. But now, as you can see, it's just a really nice area. So this is in the southern part of Kansas City. There's one other marker over here. Let's go take a look at that. It seems like that was probably the one that we just read is an older marker. And oh yeah, it looks like this is for sale. There's the sign over there. So if anybody wants to purchase it, if you have the money, this would be a really neat property to own. But anyway, that other marker looks like it's older than this one. This is in the same style as a bunch of other markers that we've already seen. But let's take a look at this. So this is by Howard N. Monette, or Monet, I think it's with two T's, it's Monette. Memorial Battle of Westport, Civil War Round Table, Kansas City. Okay, tour stop number 4, Benton Ward houses. The brick house in the rear was owned by William Bent, fur trader. On Sunday, October 23rd, 1864, heavy fighting occurred here. After Union General Curtis flanked the Confederate line by coming up a ravine, Rockwell Lane. I guess that's now what it is, Rockwell Lane. His troops were a few rods north of the house. The Confederate line was defended by portions of Jackman's and Thompson's brigades of Shelby's division. At about noon, the Confederates were pushed back to 55th Street, and that's this road right here that we're on, this is 55th. They withdrew, left on Summit, right on 51st, to the Sunset Hill School. So, okay. I doubt there's anything on the back, but let's just check. Nope, I was wrong. And actually it just says the exact same thing. So, okay. Well, that's pretty neat. By the way, there's a lot of Canadian wildfire smoke here today in the Kansas City area. It's really thick. From what I read, it's not just the Canadian wildfire smoke, but it's also from other wildfires burning in the US, but primarily Canadian wildfire smoke. But anyway, what I'm gonna do, I know that there's a few sites in Liberty that are for Alexander Doniphan, so I'm gonna go check those out. I believe his grave is also in Liberty. I saw a picture of it. It's somewhere here in Missouri, but probably in Liberty. So we're gonna check that out. But anyway, yeah. So just one more time, this property, and who knows how much, because it was described as a homestead, so maybe it was like much more than what you see here. But this property was owned by Bishop Edward Partridge and Alexander Doniphan. So pretty cool. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.